Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, what is June 23rd? One more week, and this is crazy. One more week, and we're in the third quarter of the year. Crazy. No, we're not. Are we? Anyway, I can't do math right now. But anyway, let's move on. All right, so today we are very fortunate, okay, we have from three different markets today. We have one from California, one from Arizona, and one from Nevada. Unless Stan is on too. Stan, if you're on too, hit *6 on your phone. All you guys, let me introduce you one at a time here, though. I'll do them in order, all right, from when you guys got on the call. We have Tim Dunn from the St. Rose office.
Good morning.
Omar Gaafar. Good morning, Tim. Thank you for being on today. We have Omar Gaafar. He is from the Anaheim Hills office, California. Good morning, Omar.
Good morning.
Good morning. We also have Eric Saenz. He's from the Northwest office in AZ. Good morning, Eric. Eric, you got to hit *6 on your phone, my man. *6, not pound. The bottom left, and then number 6.
Is that better?
There he is. Man, myth, legend. All
I
right,
have my
and we have
AirPods
one
on.
person.
Sorry about that.
No problem, bud. And then we have one person who may be on vacation or not. Stan Abrams, are you on, Stan Abrams?
He's in Kansas City.
Yeah. Oh, Kansas City. That's it. Okay. So he's in Kansas City today. I just thought I heard somebody else get on. So, all right. So we're going to do our normal call today. That's the treat. We're going to do a normal call today, and this is kind of a normal call where a lot of times 3 of the 4 people actually show up. We start off by going over the last 2 weeks, how you've done as far as your production and as far as your commitment to the goals you made or for the last 2 weeks. So let's start with you, Tim. Tim, how are you doing so far? Last 2 weeks.
Actually doing very well. Had a closing on Friday of a property that was a roller coaster of a ride. Everything from the seller not questioning their mental stability, a power of attorney, and an investor, and finally got us to the closing table on Wednesday, and the buyer decided to question the type of title that we use in Nevada, the type of deed, excuse me. And I've never seen anyone do that. Neither had the title company. And they didn't wire in their funds or their docs. So we had to hold. And finally on Friday, at the last minute, they wired in their docs and their funding, and we were able to close. So everyone was very thrilled, and especially me. I was grateful to finally be done with that. So that was really good. I have another property getting tons of showings, no offers, priced correctly. May have to do another price adjustment just to maybe get someone off the fence. Or we're talking about there's an aesthetic issue with a primary bathtub that I think if we address that, it may aid us a little bit. So we're discussing that today. Luxury loft condo finally receiving an uptick in showings over the weekend. That was looking very promising, and got a new buyer under contract. Approaching end of due diligence this week, and appraisal is today. It's all going very well, and gained 2 more buyers.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now, just to clarify, so because we have people on and people will be listening to this, clarify, when you say, and I'm going to give you my opinion, I know what you're saying. You're saying the listing that is priced right, but you might do a price reduction. By price right, you mean we're definitely appraised at that price, but the reason you'd consider lowering the price is because of the market conditions, just to make it more attractive, correct?
Absolutely. And we recently did just a small price reduction to repopulate it within MLS, though it was priced correctly, even based on a recent sale of last month of a model match that had lower square footage, and the updates within the property were not as nice as what we have. But the flip side of it is that this particular property also has a solar loan that a buyer would need to qualify for. So for some buyers, it could hurt their DTI. So there's that. And then what I'm seeing quite often, because of the price point, which is a very attractive one, and the area is fantastic. It's actually very close to our St. Rose office, and right at the beginning of the St. Rose corridor. Very, very desirable area. I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of agents that are showing it. They're also saying, well, we have 10 other properties to show and 12 other properties to show. So it's kind of like they're lumping everything together. And I had an agent yesterday that, was showing the property, and she told me that their client was only qualified for $20,000 less. Like, well, why are you showing it? So I'm getting a mix of things over there. It's very interesting.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay, good. Yeah. So, it's just an interesting market, and everybody needs to understand that, when we defend our price, like we always talk about this, when we defend our price, that's when we get into problems. Appraisal and saleability, depending on the market, don't always equal the same price. So that's the point I'm trying to make. And thank you, Tim, for doing that. And that sound we just heard, if that's you, Stan, if you happen to get on the call today, hit *6 to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we won't be able to hear you. *6. All right, let's go to Omar. And you might think that Omar is trying to imitate Tim, but no, they both have very deep voices.
No, Omar is the OG, and
he's the original. Yeah. All right, cool.
I just imitate Omar, so that's it.
All right, cool. All right, Omar, how about you? Last couple of weeks, let's hear it.
Last couple of weeks, Rick, I got a call from someone in my farm. I guess I knocked on his door a year ago. He didn't have to move, so I just left a card, and then he calls me up Saturday. Looks like he got a job transfer to Texas, so I've got the appointment coming up on Wednesday. So I'm starting to get those kind of calls more and more. I leave a card that circumstances shift or change, and then they got to go. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And give them an idea. So you knock the same area pretty much. You go through the whole thing. It's several thousand homes in there, and you pretty much do most of your prospecting from out there door knocking and farming every day, don't you?
Yeah. That's pretty much the bulk of my business. I did get a buyer referral though too from a past client. So the referrals are starting to come more and more. But that client came from door knocking as well. So. The door knocking is bearing fruit. Like I said, this guy, he didn't even have to, he told me no a year ago, but like I said, he got a job transfer and now he's got to go. And those kind of calls, I'm starting to get them more and more, I leave a card, hey, you came by and, now we got to go. So, you never know. As soon as you leave a card, plant the seed, they'll remember you, especially when you show up face to face.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're out there door knocking, you're bringing a flyer. Other times you're just giving them your card. So you're always leaving something. Good. Love it. Yeah. So anybody out there who's wondering if door knocking works, it absolutely works if you're consistent at doing it. And because you do primarily all your business from the Just Sold script and your Sphere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. I love it. All right. Cool, Omar. Anything else you want to add about the last 2 weeks?
You know what, Rick? I did get a call from someone in my farm. They don't want to sell, but they want to lease an income property. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's just someone else to throw in the database.
Absolutely, good stuff. I love it. It keeps growing the more consistent you have. I mean, it's great. I love it. All right, and plus you live in one of the best places in the world to go door knocking, Orange County, in California.
Yeah, it's ideal weather. So.
I love it when you land in the OC, the airport. They start selling you on the OC right away. I love it. All right. Thank you, Omar. Okay, Mr. Saenz, Eric Saenz from AZ. Let's hear from you, man. Last couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks, I took a nice listing. This particular listing, I showed her daughter some homes that she just wasn't quite. She was thinking that $1 million goes much further than it does nowadays, I guess. And so when she realized that it doesn't, she said, I'll just call you later. And we more or less have kept in touch. I was very nice to her, but her mom called me her mom owned. They actually, by coincidence, live in my parents' neighborhood, and they own 4 properties in there, and they want to start selling them off, so they can start working on retirement. So I listed 1 property so far, and they've decided to start looking for another property to give it to their daughter. This one that I listed was in a fire. I think I mentioned it before, but they're finding one on the market. They made an offer yesterday on another property, backs up to the lake, that they want to gift to one of their children. So you never know who, I guess, where the next sale is going to come or from the next transaction. I showed the original daughter like 3.5 months ago, and here we are down the road with the mom. So it's a nice thing.
Yeah. Repeat and referral from doing a great job. Absolutely.
I was walking my dog about 3 weeks ago, and a lady down on my street actually having a yard sale, and we're starting to talk, and we started chit-chatting. She knew I was a realtor because as soon as I moved in, I sent out a mailer, and I've kind of been doing that every month to my neighborhood. And so she said she has a realtor, but they're getting ready to sell. I gave her my business card anyway, and she had my number. She called me last week and said, hey, well, just because we want a second opinion, would you come and give us answer some questions? So I do have a listing presentation on for them on their house is probably about 1.3 million. So again, you just never know.
Right.
We do go at it. Yeah, we do. Yes, and so as long as you, I guess for me, what probably has worked, and Susan Kramer, an old mentor and manager of mine, told me, you just never know when the next sale is coming from. So you talk to everybody and kind of go from there. Assume the sale, right? Assume everybody's going to buy a house. Most people never know when the one person is. So these people, my neighbors, were dead set on the realtor. Now they're having second thoughts, and hopefully I can make it work for me.
Awesome. And I use everybody on this call as an example when I do my success series and so forth. This is a very unique call, everybody listening, because every one of these people on this call could be in their own coaching, but they decided to stay as a group, which makes it a very unique group. That's why I like doing this group as an example for my 4 people on one call coaching. Stan, I'm going to ask one more time. Stan Abrams, are you on? If you are on, hit *6. We'll be able to hear you if you unmute yourself, but I don't think he is because he's in Kansas City. He said he was going to try to jump on. But it's typical on a call like this to have one person not on out of 4, occasionally. But also Stan, I just looked at Stan's group is number 3 in all of Arizona as of the end of May so far this year. So he's doing quite well. And it wouldn't be uncommon for him to say, I took a couple of listings, I have a staff. But everybody on this call, and the reason I bring it up you, Eric, is that everybody on this call does it a little differently. We talked about how Omar does it. You, I know, do a lot of door knocking with old expireds. If you want to tell them about that a little bit, I think that would be great.
Yeah, so I started doing that. I scaled back during COVID, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I started off when I moved to Arizona. I had literally nobody to communicate with as far as my sphere of influence. So I went probably I don't know if it's the old-fashioned way, but I hit the road and I started door knocking little by little, and one thing that to the other. I went my first 6 months, 6.5, 7 months. I sold nothing. I have nothing going, and was about to the point that I'm questioning my real estate endeavor. And from month 7 to month 12, I was able to sell 18 houses. 18 transactions, and 16 of those were from door knocking. So for me at the time was the only reason I probably still am in real estate is because of that early on door knocking that really helped me break through, I guess, and kind of started going from there. Now, one thing, and I'm sure everyone else with door knocks probably has seen this as well, I stopped door knocking for a little while during COVID because nobody really was answering the doors as often as much as prior to it, which is understandable. One thing I've noticed post-COVID is, not that this makes any difference, it's just an observation, but I guess this must have been during the period of time where the Ring door cameras must have exploded, because I used to go from seeing maybe one here and there didn't go for a little while during COVID. I went back a year and a half or so later, and it seemed like about 90% of people now have cameras or some sort of Ring device or something. So that was the one difference, at least here in Arizona, which made it not more challenging, but people are a lot more hyper vigilant. It seems like, I seem to get less answers at the door, but the ones that I do get are higher quality. So it probably helped in efficiency.
Yeah, and it's great too. Also, Eric, that they see you, like when you drop it off. If there's a camera, just tell them what you're dropping off. And I think you do this, right? You just say, I'm dropping off this. This is what at least they'll get to see you and hear you. And then, and like what Omar said too. And then they call you 6 months, 9 months, a year later when they decided, because they see your consistency. That's the key.
Yeah, I had one call me, I think it was like 22 months down the road.
Yeah.
And
almost
so
2
you
years.
just never know. I've had that happen. And I've actually also listed a house like basically on the spot on like 7 occasions. I've knocked on the door, come on in, you want some coffee? Let's get it going now. I've had that happen. And I have a story where I did a door knock. I believe I went 5 times. On the 5th time, the guy answered the door. Was kind of a little hard-nosed, but little by little, I was able to kind of be a little bit softer, I guess you could say, and I ended up listing his house. We got it under contract relatively quick. I go back on another day to go do something. I don't remember what it was. His neighbor's there, and he said, hey, I introduced my neighbor to you. Here, by the way, here he is. He happened to be walking his dog. I walked down to his neighbor's house. I list his neighbor's house. As I'm listing his neighbor's house, I'm doing a listing presentation. He says, hey, by the way, I got one of your business cards from, his guy's name was Robert, from the neighbor. I went down to a new build, and I told him that you were my realtor, and I signed you up, and we've also got a house under contract on a new build. So I had a house I didn't even visit from this door knock.
Wow.
And so that was kind of a really unique story. But my point is, on that one house, yeah, on the original house, I've sold now I'm going on house number 14 sales on this one door knock. So that house has brought me 14 sales over the years. And so
that's so awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've had that happen twice. So this house has brought me 14 sales over the years, and I have another one that's brought me 11 sales over the years on a door knock, which
that is great.
Again, it says a lot for door knocking, but it has helped me quite a bit.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Love it. All right. Stan is not on, so we'll go back to you, Tim. Tim, and give them a little, because, Omar and Eric are primary door knockers, right? And you kind of do a little everything. I would say you're mostly a phone caller, but you do some door knocking, right?
I do some knocking, but I tend to do my knocking at different times of the year because I enjoy my life.
Right, this time of year, right?
I don't want. I prefer not to pass out on the.
You don't like heat stroke?
No, it's not my favorite thing. Yeah, I think we're like I know Omar door knocks quite consistently, and the temperature in Anaheim Hills tends to, though warm, tends to differ considerably than Las Vegas in the summer.
Definitely, especially July and August.
Exactly. Yeah. So I first started with open houses, and that's how I started building business. And you're right, I do a lot of calls, circle prospecting, SOI, face-to-face meeting tends to work quite well with me as well. I have had one open house where I think I gained 4 or 5 different sales just from one open house. I've had, an open house where I gained 2 sales. You never know. I've been circle prospecting and gained 3 sales off of one phone call. So it can be very, very profitable. It's just, what works best for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I love it. It's all you guys are proactive. That's why you guys, I think you enjoy being each other too. You're positive, wonderful guys at the same time. You all have your different ways of being proactive. And we know Stan's not on the call, so I'll give him a little commercial. Stan, being in the business as long as he has, like 20-something years, like 25, I think, he got into really working his sphere, and that really made a difference, and doing, as you call it, circle prospecting around listings and sales and so forth. But before we run out of time, let's get into the next 2 weeks now. Back to you, Tim. Give us your goals for the next 2 weeks, please.
Listing under contract, for God's sake. And,
yes.
Two new listings and one new buyer.
One new buyer, good. And just give an idea of contacts you make per day, too.
I'd like to even get one of these new buyers under contract if I can, that I just obtained over the weekend. My goal is 30 contacts a day.
Nice. I love it. And I'll give a quick commercial for his upscale loft in Summerlin in my backyard. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been there.
Yes, Rick attended my broker open, which was very successful.
Right. It was incredibly good. It was a great idea, too.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. Anything else you want to mention about the next 2 weeks, my man?
I think we're good. Thank you so much.
All good in the hood. All right, cool. Omar, you're next.
Next 2 weeks, Rick, looking to get one new listing and to get my buyer under contract.
Okay, cool. All right, and then give an idea too, Omar, about when you're out there from 9 to noon every day, about how many contacts a day do you make?
Yeah, same goal as Tim, 30 contacts.
It's 30 contacts a day. Same voice,
yeah.
Same goal. All right, love it. Anything else? You guys do sound a lot alike. Anything else you want to mention about the next 2 weeks?
No, good.
Good. All right, Omar, thank you. Yeah, and I do agree with Tim. It is quite nice to be door knocking in lovely Orange County, especially since it doesn't really get above probably high 80s, but especially if you go early.
Yeah. No, morning's perfect.
Right, and I think it's good to mention too that you just expanded your farm size too. What did you add? About 50% to it, right, in size?
Yeah, Rick. I mean, the inventory's still low, and there's still a dogfight to get a listing, so I had to expand. So
good. All right, love it. All right, cool. Thank you, Omar. All right, Eric, my man, let's hear it.
Well, my goal is to get the listing down the street from my house, and my neighbor get my other listing under contract that just went live. We were coming soon, waiting for some pictures because she had to fix a couple things. So get those two, get a listing, get my listing under two listings under contract actually.
Nice.
Actually, today as well, I'm supposed to be getting my permits back so I can start working on this duplex and break ground and start kind of going from there. So my contacts, as much as I'd love for them to be 30 a day, for me, a more realistic number is going to be somewhere between 15 and 20 now that I get a little bit more occupied with something else. Yeah.
Right.
At least temporarily.
Right. So now you've decided to get a little bit more on the investment side, and you buy and flip, and now you're doing a duplex. You're going to build it from scratch up to the ground and rent them both out, right? Or are you going to sell them?
I'm actually going to sell them.
Okay. Cool.
And that's something I'm hoping to start doing moving forward. Is I would like to start having one of these projects per year as I do real estate, because real estate is what keeps. Yeah, of course, it's definitely a bonus land because real estate's what keeps the lights on, and this is just something else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Awesome stuff. I love it. Okay, guys, question time. Any questions for me? Anything going on I can help out with?
No, I'm good.
Where's the market headed?
Good in the hood.
Where's the market headed? That's such a loaded question. I think it's going to be, I think you're going to see what you see for a little while until Jerry Fowle. That's why I call Jerome Powell. You guys know that, but I'm just letting everybody else know. I call him that because he's always behind the eight ball. He's always late to the party, late to change the rate, went up too fast. Now he's kept it there too long. So until that base rate, because everybody's waiting for that. I know it sounds crazy, but when you go from 3% interest rates to 7%, and now we're in the high 6s, and and 7. They just need to see a little help because we have a dam that's about ready to let go once the base rate starts coming down. And I think you'll see there's a lot of people out there, way more people who should buy, could buy, than have bought. So when that happens in the base, then I think the market's going to. So I think for the next few months, you got what you see is what you get, even though it has been artificially slowed down a little bit because of it's summer, vacations, the temperature got to 3 numbers, kids are out of school, people are getting married, grudge, all that stuff always makes it slow down for a few weeks. But I think, this is the version. It's been this version for a few years now. When that base rate starts going the other way, though, it'll start letting people into the market more and more. And I think you'll see the market turn around because even though we do have a decent amount of inventory now, it's still historically tight and there's a lot more people. So you give a base rate, and I think when the base rate starts coming down, it'll make the market go. And who knows, that could be, later this year, could be early next year. But we do know that if Jerome Powell doesn't start playing ball, I think in May of next year, his term's up. I think he'll be replaced based on everything we're reading.
Yeah, I heard that his term's going to be up next year. I reckon Trump just gets to appoint someone else.
That's exactly what will happen. Yeah.
But Rick, I do have a quick question. Oh.
Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Again, I don't know if this is a taboo subject or question, but in light of recent activity over the weekend, do you think that is going to help, or would you think it would be more going to hurt at least our industry moving forward for the next foreseeable future?
Well, and that's also a great question because people use almost any, like remember the election? Wow, I want to see what's going to happen. Well, what's going to happen? Well, what's happened? Well, I just want to see what's going to happen. So if somebody wants an excuse, the base rate's one of them. The situation with Iran could be another one on stability. Although the stock market this morning has gone back to favorable, I don't think they're too concerned about it. Anything that gives people a little excuse if they've decided they want to wait and see, that's another situation. But once again, when the base rate changes, that'll give people confidence. So I think it'll trump a lot of the other stuff, no pun intended, from what's going on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, perfect time, guys. Hey, I just want to say thank you very much, Omar, Tim, Eric, and Stan with us in spirit. Thank you very much for taking your time out today. This has been very awesome. This will be blasted out everywhere and on my YouTube channel forever. You guys are the best. Thank you very much for your time. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week.
You too, buddy. Thank you.